Hi friends, I am again here with the 2020 Oscar nominations, and let's see which movie has the capability to get into the final of the Best Movie Award for the 2020 Academic Oscars Award. So there are 9 movies shortlisted for the Best Movie nominations for this year. First is 1970, a war film. Second is Ford versus Ferrari. Third is Jojo Rabbit. Fourth is Joker. The movie has a lots of potential here. Little Women, Marriage Story, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, and The Irishman. So let's find out what the movie has the capabilities and what the movies could do so that they could win. Ford versus Ferrari. In this movie, there's a stiff competition between the Ford car makers and the Ferrari car makers. The Ford has tried to increase the speed, but it was always been losing the race with the Ferrari. But one of the engineers who is actually at the low level, he came up the high level into sort of things. He was a technician, and he helped Ford to get the speed what is more than Ferrari, and he won the race out of that. And this movie has a capability to be into the Oscar, but still this movie lacks, because I feel if jury selects this movie, then it will become some sort of movie which is having a brand image of a Ford and Ferrari. So I think this movie could not be into the Oscar this year. Second movie is 1970. Is a very good movie, and you can find the most important aspect is the uncut aspects. So many shots have been taken, but the most of the movie shots are uncut. Means from the first shot to the last shot, they have taken the movie all throughout the together. This movie also revolves around a messenger who runs around, and he has to give a war message from one post to another post, and in between he has faced lots of problem and situation where he has a life threat, and he could have gone into, is one of my friend, he died in between, but later we found that this person has come over the struggle, and he reached to the war post, and he has given the message to the captain, and he has stopped the war. And most emotional scene was there when he has communicated the death of his friend to the brother of his friend. So that was the movie scene. Overall, this movie has a potential to get into the best movie picture, and this movie has a good concept and based upon a good novel, and that's I find is that movie has the capability. Third is Joker. This movie is really been discussed and really short of having lots of potential to become a best picture. This movie has already won so many awards like Golden Globe awards and many other awards, but I think I have seen so many years that Oscar jury does not select those movies which have already won the awards and other nominations in various other awards category. So I think if jury is non-biased, then they have to give this movie as the best picture award. But if jury is being biased, then they can give to 1917. But I am very sure that Joker is gonna to become the best picture of this year. Lots of time it has shown how a man struggles with the system and being startup from the lower level as a Joker, and his main purpose was to amuse the people, but he defied his purpose and he has become a role model for the masses. Third movie is really based upon the incidents of a divorce and the marriage, and the marriage story is basically Scarlett Johansson's portraying the older kind of star who has got into the divorce and marriage. And in this movie, I find Scarlett Johansson could win the Best Actress award. Her actress her acting is very good, and she can win the Best actress for this movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the mix of comedy, mix of emotion, crime, drama, and everything. And Brad Pitt is awesome in this movie, and he has the role of kind of a movie actor, and really his body double and all the coordination between them. This movie can also have potential to win the Oscar, but I don't think this movie is a really fresh one. This subject has already been taken, and this movie could not be into the best picture for this year, but really Brad Pitt will get an Oscar for the best actor in supporting role. So let's see what other movies. This Little Woman is already been made so many movies on this novel by Lucy Marie, and this movie has very good costume designing, and I have seen so many costumes designer, but this movie has accuracy which I have not found in any other movie. So best costume award, I can recommend this movie. This movie has a story of four sisters and their life from birth till last, how they survive and how they struggle, and this movie is really shows a lots of emotion. Many of the earlier films have been made on this concept, and I'm finding nothing new in this. So let's see what is the category of this movie. Fourth is Jojo Rabbit. I find this movie is very good based upon the category of Nazi era. And this Nazi era movie, I find the story of a little boy, how he survives and how he gets trained into the Nazi army. He was always fighting for he wanted to always fight for the Nazis, and he was always saying against the Jews, but he later find out there is a Jew, his sister is already living, and that was not his real sister, but her mother has brought a Jew girl to give shelter in her home, but later her mother has also been given capital punishment for helping the Jews. So this movie could also having a potential to become a good movie and for this year. But more or less this Nazi movies have already, we have seen, have got a good response from the jury, and this movie is based upon a good concept. So let's see what happens this year with this movie. First is Parasite. First time we have find a Korean movie or any other kind of foreign movie is included into the best picture category for the main leading movies category, and this movie has really a great kind of picturization. Story is very well articulated, and it has shown the story of the society from the lower strata people when they reaches to the higher stratum, and immediately they start behaving like a higher stratum person. So there is a comparison between the lower class and the upper class. So this is a class struggle which denoted in this movie Parasite. The Irishman movie is a basically crime scene and crime. It's like a more or less like a Godfather movie. All this era of the Godfather and all these kinds of storyline is more or less similar to that movie. So I find this movie has a very good potential to become Oscar winner this year. But still, I feel this movie is having the same concept which already we have seen in Godfather. So jury may not find in this movie something new to be given as an award. So let's see. But this movie has very good costume and the editing is very good. What can I say for this movie? I can recommend for the good editing part, they can win an award for this Irishman. Next movie we can say as a silent, this movie is silently getting into the more and more strength, the Joker. And the Joker movie, I really find the story and the class acting which is done by Joaquin Phoenix, and Joaquin Phoenix has done very good acting in this, and he is really got lots of accolades from the people, and how he fights with the system and how he survives and his all struggle is shown in this movie. So it's my personal recommendation that this movie should got the best Oscar for the best movie. And really let's see what happens now. I have given you all kinds of prediction, but for me I think 1917 and the Joker are in the race, and little more the Irishman. If I think if the jury relates with the Godfather, then obviously these three movies are hot favorite, but my hot favorite is most Joker. So let's see, tomorrow it's going to be decided, and let's see which movie is gonna to get the Oscar for this year. Thank you so much, and thank you for this. Thank you.